Hey guys, I decided to do a video today for another baby update and just kind of a general pregnancy update because I'm getting a little bit behind on posts. We've been pretty busy, so it's just a little bit easier for me to do a video, and I'm kind of wanting to do some more videos on the blog now and then, so this is just kind of my let's get started. Okay, so I figured I would update you guys on the baby. If you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, then you probably saw that I'd asked for prayers and positive thoughts for on Thursday, last Thursday, because we got some kind of freaky ultrasound results from our midwife. Yeah, and so I had just kind of asked for, good vibes and healthiness for when we go check out the baby next week to see, or this week now, to see if everything is good. So if you don't know, we are going with midwife care this pregnancy, and we're having a natural birth and everything. So we love our midwife. She is fantastic, and she's super nice, and she is a great match for us. She's like the perfect midwife for us and our style. But anyway, so I'll take you back to the ultrasound and I'll explain all this. So we had an ultrasound on Thursday at 8:30 in the morning, and then we had a full day plan in the city to go to the Science Center and just have a fun day with Mackenzie because Cody had holidays last week. And so at the I had my ultrasound at 10 weeks, and I am 12 weeks, 5 days now. So at the ultrasound, it was like 10 weeks 1 day. I had my ultrasound and everything was good, and the ultrasound tech was super great, and she told me, everything looks great. I'm just going to double check with our on-staff doctor here, and then you should be good. And so I never heard anything from them. I got sent home and it was fine, and I never heard anything. And so we went to the midwife appointment at like 8:30 in the morning on Thursday, and she had asked us how the ultrasound went, and I said, great. And she was like, oh no, not really. And so we were like, what? And so she gave us, she pulled out the report, and it had said that there was a possible gut herniation on it. And the report was very confusing, and it confused, my midwife was talking with other midwives and going over it and trying to figure out what the heck they meant. So my midwife is not familiar with this. She's never seen this before in any of her clients. And she's never experienced this herself or anything, so I was the first encounter with this, so she wasn't really sure exactly what it was. So what the report said on one side was it was possible gut herniation, and then the other side it said no abnormalities, but in the same sentence it said a probable, no, this one said possible gut herniation. So on one side it said probable, and one side it said possible, and so we were all really confused by the wording and what they meant. And so what my midwife thought that the gut herniation meant was that that meant that the organs, or the gut and the intestines and everything, was developing and growing outside of the abdomen of the baby, which what she told us would mean that I would not be eligible for midwife care anymore. I'd be sent straight to an OB. I would be heavily monitored through my pregnancy, and that the baby would require surgery right after birth. And so that was freaky to hear, but Cody and I are really chill about it. My brain was telling me that I should maybe be worried about this, but my gut was really telling me that there was nothing wrong, and that I should just be cool about it. So after that, we talked about it. We just said, okay, well, and they wanted me back for another ultrasound. And so we're just like, okay, we'll go to the ultrasound and we'll take it from there, and we'll see what happens. So after that, we heard the baby's heartbeat though after that, and it was 143 beats per minute, and she felt around, and it was the first midwife appointment we actually got to do stuff, so that was fun. And then we went and we spent our day in the city after that, but it was a little weird because I was a little like, when you hear something like that something might be wrong with your baby, you're like, oh. So the day was kind of dampened by that. But then, and something she told me was, Rainbow, don't go home, don't Google it, don't look it up, because, you Google something and you find out you're dying. So, so I was like, yeah, I'm not going to Google it, I'm not going to worry about it. And so by the time we got home from the day and later that evening, I was really calm and I was really relaxed with it, and I wasn't upset about it, and I really wasn't worried. I was really trusting my gut, and I talked it over with Cody several times, and I just told him, like, I don't think I need to worry. Like, I don't think we need to worry about this. And from the beginning, Cody was like, I'm not worried about this. I think this baby's healthy, and I think you're healthy, and I don't think there's anything wrong. And so I went ahead and I looked into it online, and I found several articles about it, and everything was very consistent with each other. And so here's what I found out. Forgive me if my wording's off, I'm just going from memory here. So a gut herniation is very common in most pregnancies. I don't know if it's all. Don't quote me on that. But it happens between about 6 to 8 weeks, and it's when the abdomen wall, when the gut is forming, the gut rotates, and the gut, like the digestive, like the bowel, can move past the abdominal wall and into the base of the umbilical cord. And that happens between about 6 to 8 weeks. Now, my ultrasound was at 10 weeks. Not very many people have 10-week ultrasounds. It was just when I booked it, that just happened to be how pregnant I was. Most people have, because especially when you go with doctors, they get you in at either 6 to 8 weeks, or they get you in at 12 weeks. And so I kind of had an odd timed ultrasound. So, but back to the gut herniation. So it's common that it usually, the gut will move outside into the base of outside of the abdominal wall into the base of the umbilical cord. And the gut will rotate, and then about 10 to 11 weeks, the gut or the abdomen will like swell or get bigger, and the gut will rotate again, and the bowel will move back through the abdominal wall into the abdomen. The gut will rotate another full 180 degrees and be back to where everything's supposed to be. And so from what I found online, which is very normal, it's very common, it fixes itself. And just as a precaution, medical professionals like to have the mother back between week 13 and 14 at the beginning of the second trimester, just to be sure that everything went back into place and that everything's good and solid. So it gives you a good, since it goes back in between 10 and 11 weeks, it gives you a good 3 weeks for everything to be back in and adjusted and normal. And so everything that I read made kind of the light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, okay, so this all makes sense. I would explain why they didn't tell me at the ultrasound, why she wanted to double check with the doctor, but she said nothing's wrong, because on the ultrasound report it said that they might have seen it. We were confused, so we don't really know if they thought they might have seen it or if they did see it, and so, excuse me, so what we found out was that is called gut herniation, and if it was something more serious where the whole inside of the abdomen was growing outside and it would require surgery and everything after birth, that is called something or other of the abdominal wall. So they're totally different terms, and they don't really get their terms messed up there because they know what they're doing. So the fact that they didn't tell me, that they put the wording they did on the ultrasound report, and that they labeled it as a gut herniation, and that they asked me back between 13 and 14 weeks very specifically, that put my mind completely at ease. I am very confident that this is what it is, and then we're just double checking to make sure everything went back normal. So if you have been worrying about us, thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your thoughts and all your positive vibes, and you can continue to do that until we find out for sure on Wednesday. I'm going out Wednesday at 10 a.m. And I will do another video update probably to let you guys all know how that went. But it's a lot less scary for me now. I really think that's what it is, if it was anything, and I totally think we're good and that the baby will be absolutely fine. But let's just make sure that it's like that. So we'll do that on Wednesday. So yes, I think that's everything about the whole gut herniation thing. I just wanted to fill you guys in because I know some people have been messaging me and they're really worried about me. So I don't, as much as I mean, I guess there's a slim chance that it could be something freaky, but I'm very confident that this is just what it is. So, in other pregnancy news, my morning sickness is gone. Yay! it left at like 10 weeks, which is fantastic. The only thing now is I do get nauseous if I don't eat in time. Like my body is very particular. It's like, you are hungry and you are hungry now. So it's like, go eat. And so like, I haven't gotten sick in like 2 weeks, but Saturday morning here we went out for breakfast. Well, we were all sleeping and we hadn't gone grocery shopping yet, so we were like, ugh, let's just go out for breakfast. And we were late getting out of the house, and so I ended up getting sick at the restaurant, not in front of anybody, but so that kind of sucked. But I mean, it was kind of, I knew it was going to happen because we were late and I didn't eat anything before, so whoops, my bad. But as long as I don't let that happen, then we're good. Sorry, I'm just looking at my little picture my little notepad so I don't forget anything. Cravings this time has been weird. I'm not really craving anything. I don't really crave stuff. But for Mackenzie, I was like, sugar, everything, like, give me cake. And this time, I want nothing to do with anything. Like, even, like, a juice is, like, too sweet for me. I'm like, no thanks. But this time, I'm like, I want citrus. Like, I love, like, give me the biggest glass of ice water with, like, lemon or cucumber. And, like, just lots of, like, stuff in it. And I would just down that in oranges and just grapefruits and, like, I just love citrus and sour stuff right now. And that's about it. I still hate eggs. I'm not ready to introduce an egg into our house yet. And Greek yogurt grosses me out still. But regular yogurt is fine. So that's kind of odd. But then I haven't started doing my exercises yet again. I've been really just letting this... I don't really remember feeling like tight in my uterus, or like not really crampy, but like just like tight and pulley. I don't really remember that with Mackenzie, and I don't know if it's just because I don't remember or if I was so sick with her that I just tuned everything else out and that's all I remember was just 3 months of hell. So I've just been kind of taking it easy, and now I'm just going to wait until after this ultrasound before I start my exercise again, just to make sure that everything's good and I'm not going to mess anything up. But then I plan to get right back on the boat and tone down to my regular, but still hopefully work my way back up to 5-6 days a week again. So maybe that's ambitious after like 2 months off, but I don't know. I'm hopeful. And I just wanted to mention I've had a hard time with my like vitamins and my prenatals and supplies and stuff. In the beginning, my prenatal was making me really sick. So I went out on the day I found out I was pregnant. I went out to the health food store and I bought New Chapter Perfect Prenatals. They're made with organic vegetables and herbs. And I mean, they stink and they're pretty big. I'll show you how big they are. They kind of look like rabbit food. Oh, they really stink. But I was taking them and I was like they were making me feel really nauseous. And so, and I mean, these are like natural ones. So I looked into it, and I really, since I ate really healthy before, and everything, and I was trying to eat as healthy as I could while I was sick, I decided to kind of nix the prenatal, and instead, at first I went and got a B6 to try and help the morning sickness, and I didn't really notice too much of a difference with that. But then I was like a little bit concerned with like the folic acid and the folate. I wanted to still be getting some of that into me because I couldn't eat a lot of my normal healthy foods. So I went out and I bought a B6, B12 folic acid complex. And so I take that, and now I've been taking that instead of the prenatal. And so I decided to try my prenatal again now that I feel better. I tried it this weekend for 2 days, and I haven't been nauseous in forever, but this weekend I was nauseous. Because you have to take these 3 times a day with food. And so this weekend was the first time I've kind of felt mucky, and then Cody was like, what have you been doing differently? And I was like, well, I took my prenatal, and he was like, stop it. So I'm gonna go to, and I don't really love, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read thoroughly enough, and I didn't realize that there was soy in this. And I'm not a huge fan of soy, I don't consume it, and so, that's kind of iffy for me. So I'm gonna go out and buy a new one. It's solely vegetable based, and I'm thinking maybe the herbal thing is giving me a little bit of trouble, because everybody's body is different for what's good for them. So I'm going to go out and buy completely like food-based organic prenatal. I'm going to go try and hunt it down, and I will let you know what it is, because I'm forgetting the name, and how I do with that. So I think that's it. So there's your update, plus additional, my regular 12-week update is on the blog, and then you'll get the 13-week update next week, and I will also do another video for the follow-up for my appointment. I'll do that on Wednesday and get it out Wednesday so you guys will have it. Okay, well, bye!